man. You're having too much fun with these entrances. Welcome to Cheap Hops, everybody. I'm Dave.
I'm Nick.
And if you can't tell, we're going to talk a little bit about Hulk Hogan today. But there's also a lot else to talk about. He loves that new belt. I do too.
Oh, cool. Definitely.
So, there's a lot to talk about. We've been gone a little bit. I had some technical issues with the storm coming through and cutting out my power, and then he went on vacation. So, it's good to be back. It's good to do another episode. Episode 55. So, thanks for checking this out. One thing I wanted to mention up at the top. I complained on the last episode about Jim Cornette not Googling stuff when he doesn't know. It was about the Swerve Strickland coming out to his old music on pay-per-view, and Cornette didn't understand it. And I said, well, you should start Googling stuff before you say those things. Well, when we talked about the chaotic wrestling show we went to, I said I didn't know what the GGC stood for, and I didn't Google it. Well, since I complained, I Googled it. It stands for God's Greatest Creation. So there you go. I complained, and I did what I complained about, so I decided to correct that. Another thing we got to talk about, and you and I have talked about it.
Oh, definitely.
Roger Jackson, the son of Rampage Jackson, just beating the piss out of Psycho Stu at a Knox Pro Wrestling show owned by Rikishi. He had him down. The guy was clearly unconscious, and Roger Jackson just kept on punching him. Live rounds while the guy was down and unconscious. I don't know if he's going to get attempted murder. I don't know if he's going to get aggravated assault, but some charges need to be brought.
Oh, definitely. And if you condone his actions, then what the fuck is wrong with you?
Yeah, who's two of the guys who are defending him right now?
Freaking Mark Henry and RVD.
Yep.
JBL, I have tons of respect for you for...
Yeah, JBL's speaking out about it, and it's ridiculous, anybody that watch all the videos, and then the more videos you watch, and Rampage Jackson trying to defend it, saying, well, he didn't know it was a work.
Were you in TNA Wrestling?
Yeah, he was a member of the Main Event Mafia. If you didn't smarten up your kid enough that he knows that it's a work and the stuff that they do is a work, like, I don't care what happened backstage between the two of them, there was no call for that.
No.
Once the guy is down... Stop punching him.
And you accepted his apology too.
Yeah, the videos don't lie, and then they showed the video of him saying he was going to do it. Like that's premeditation. Like that, a lawyer's going to have a field day with that if the guy presses charges. And kudos to Chris Jericho. I may disagree with him on a lot of stuff. He donated a lot of money to the GoFundMe, so that's really cool. The whole thing just bothers the hell out of me as a wrestling fan. I can't imagine being at that show and watching him just rain down punches on the guy. You
know who I really feel sorry for? The kids in the crowd.
Yeah, I mean, they probably didn't know really what was going on, but once you saw those punches where he just would not stop, just watch the videos. It's all over the internet.
Definitely.
It's crazy to me that happened.
Can we get into what I got for you from Maine?
You go right ahead.
And Alex got you something too, right. And I'll give you her.
I got a couple things to show off as well.
First, she got you.
And if you don't like us showing stuff off that we bought, too bad, because it's our show and we're going to do it anyways.
She got you this with the stand. She didn't know which one to get you, and I said, no, this one. This is what she got for you.
Yeah, I got to get some. That's really cool. Jesse the Body Ventura LJN. A lot of the paint is still, you can still see the tie-dye on his, it'll be off the screen. We'll put them right there. That's real, and I love these stands for him. That stand is really, really cool. That's awesome.
And this is what I got for you.
Uh-oh.
Oh, wait. There's a little one in
He's not prepared. He's just kind of grabbing stuff out of a box.
I didn't know if you had him or not.
A little Ultimate Warrior Lego figure. That's pretty cool. I like that. Thank you. And thank you to Alex for grabbing me the Jesse Ventura. That's really cool. What are you doing? You digging? What are you digging?
So I forgot to take this off.
Oh, I ain't worried about the price tag. Don't worry about it.
I hope you don't have this already.
I'm pretty sure I don't. Okay, I can see through the bag. That is badass. Okay.
It was a toss-up between this or the Ecto-1 looking like Optimus Prime.
No, this is really cool. An Optimus Prime with the Ghostbusters tie-in. That's really cool. I'm never gonna open. Well, I can't say I'm never gonna open this, but that'll look cool on the shelf. That's pretty badass. I really like that.
And this is for you.
Oh yeah, a Roman Reigns, the tribal chief. I don't have it with the red, so that's really cool.
And I stopped at a comic book store. Both Alex and I did, and I know how much you love business cards.
Yeah, I do. Coast City Comics. Oh, that's cool. Little Batman logo. I like that.
And I bought a t-shirt from them.
Yeah, see, I like that when they're kind of, I don't know how, I guess because it's parody, they can kind of get away with it, but it's kind of got it's pretty much a Batman logo, which a lot of comic book shops do this with the old school Batman logo, which is pretty cool. I like it.
Here, I won't take it out of the thing.
But I bought this. I didn't show you this. From the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers movie, the White Ranger Funko. This is for my DVD shelf, so. And stand back. There's a hurricane coming through.
Yay!
The Hurricane Royal Rumble figure, the Elite Collection. The Diesel in this line, I don't think it looks very good because it's when Kevin Nash returned in 2000.
Actually, you could just take the head off from one of the Kevin Nash action figures, put it right on it.
I could, but
do you have this Razor Ramon?
the yellow one, I don't think I do.
If you don't,
that's really cool. I like that. This will go on my Scott Hall shelf. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
I like that. We're just handing out stuff. I guess I'm going to have to buy stuff for you when I'm on vacation.
Freaking Amazon, don't ever get used action figures. Who is that?
If that's Shawn Michaels, I'm the Undertaker. That is without a doubt a Dean Ambrose in there. That's not even a good tape job on there.
This you can have if you want it.
I don't want it. That looks like a Ken Shamrock head in there too. That looks like a I don't even know. That's messed up, man. Because they wanted the William Regal head. That's the whole reason. They took out the William Regal head in the action figure, and then they put Dean Ambrose in.
I don't even know if the second head's in there.
That's just horrible.
I don't even want to open it.
That's just bad, but whatever. And
I still can't believe they sold this to me.
Yeah, because you said November's when it's
Yep,
supposed to come
November
out, right?
14th this is supposed to come out, and I saw this on the shelf. So I grabbed it.
I work at Walmart, so that delivery had to have been really early, because, November, yeah. That's like 3 months early. They're not supposed to put those on. I'm surprised it even scanned in the system, to be honest.
Right.
It's cool that they sold it to you.
And I have to show this off. My custom... Who is it?
NWO Rick Rude.
Yes!
That's cool. That's a really good. You did a really good job on that. I like that. So what components did you use for that?
I used, I think these were Howard Finkel's arms.
Okay.
Referee or Vince McMahon legs and the torso of William Regal.
Okay, and the head was one from the WCW figure from Target. You said.
Yep.
That's really cool. You did a really good job on that. I like that a lot.
And
he just keeps bringing boxes of stuff with him. It's just.
And I got the AEW Sting Walmart exclusive. This is coming out of the box because I am going to make another custom.
That's really cool. They've got a John Moxley one that does not sell, but that one's cool. I like that one a lot.
I love the Sting one. If I can get my hands on another one, I want to keep one in the box.
Yeah, that's cool. I like that.
And still sticking with Sting. The Ultimate Triple Pack.
That's one of the best figures AEW's done. That's really cool. My thing is like he's getting 2. I would want 2 because I'd want to open them. No, that's badass. My only thing with the Jazzware stuff is a lot of them are internet exclusives. That's the only thing, And a lot of the ones that are exclusive to Walmart are just ones I don't want. And like Ricky, no offense to Ricky Starks, but There's like 20 of them on the shelves where I work right now, and nobody's buying them. I think they need to pick the Walmart exclusives a little better, but...
Yes.
And I showed you this.
The only Walmart exclusive one that is really good is this one.
Yeah, so far, I think so, yeah. I know about this movie before. Dark Match. It's a Shudder horror movie.
Ooh.
Chris Jericho is in it. I'm going to watch it, and then you can watch it, and we'll review it.
Ooh. If we can get another day off together, how about we both watch it?
Yeah.
The one I want to watch is the Monster one with Kevin Nash and a couple of the other wrestlers.
Yeah, I do have that. It says from writer-director Lowell Dean Wolfcop, Dark Match follows a small-time wrestling company that accepts a well-paying gig in a backwoods town, only to learn too late that the community is run by a mysterious cult leader with devious plans for their match.
Ooh.
So that's really cool. I'm not big on horror, but I mean, Chris Jericho's in it.
It's wrestling and it's horror.
Yeah, it'll be cool to review. It was $13, so.
So it looks like the one that plays Trevor plays in this. He's coming up to Saratoga Comic-Con.
Yep, that's cool. Yeah, so we'll definitely review this when we watch it. Let's see. Forbidden Door happened a couple days ago. We will review that. It just we already had a lot of stuff to talk about.
Yes,
and
definitely.
That's a 4-hour pay-per-view to review, so we wanted to really dedicate a lot of the show to Hulk Hogan this time.
As you can see.
Yep. As far as SummerSlam, it happened on August 2nd. You won with the predictions, 8-6. Let's see. We're not going to do a full review because, to be honest, I lost my notes. I can't find my notes for it. But Jade Cargill against Tiffany Stratton for the WWE Women's title. Tiffany Stratton won. You picked that correctly. Randy Orton and Jelly Roll against...
Jelly to Jelly suplex.
Yeah. Against Drew McIntyre and Logan Paul. Drew McIntyre and Logan Paul won.
Neither one of us won that one.
Neither one of us picked that. Let's see. CM Punk versus Gunther for the world title. I picked that correctly. He didn't. CM Punk won. And then Seth Rollins cashed in the Money in the Bank briefcase and won the world title, so that's cool.
But we did say, wouldn't it be awesome if Seth Rollins cashed in?
Yeah, that's true. And to me, I don't know if it felt like this to me. It did not feel like a SummerSlam to me.
No.
It did not feel like a major event, but they packed a lot of stuff in. I thought Punk versus Gunther was good. I mean, I think anything Punk's doing lately is good.
Oh, definitely.
And Gunther deserves more than he gets. I mean, that whole thing with Goldberg was just stupid. But Alexa Bliss and Charlotte Flair against the Judgment Day for the women's tag titles. Alexa Bliss and Charlotte Flair won. I picked that correctly. You went for Judgment Day, which would have been a good pick.
Yeah, either way.
This whole throwing single stars together to be a tag team kind of whatever, but. Roman and Jey Uso against Bronson Reed and Braun Breaker.
Neither one of us got this one right.
No, we both did. We both picked Roman and Jey.
Did we?
Yep, we both did.
All right, yeah.
Yeah, and Sami Zayn against Karrion Kross. You picked Sami. I picked Kross. Sami ended up winning. So, and now Karrion Kross and Scarlett are gone from WWE.
Which
they showed up
really
at GCW.
Sucks.
Yeah, but. They were in GCW. They're doing their own thing. They're doing appearances. I'm hoping... I've already met Scarlett, but I'm hoping I get a chance to meet Cross. Sami Zayn is on my list of guys I don't care to see on TV anymore. Him, Carmelo Hayes. I have no interest to see Carmelo Hayes on my TV. I don't care about The Miz anymore. You've been there way too long, in my opinion. I don't... Entertaining. I just don't care. Naomi against Rhea Ripley against Io Sky for the women's world title.
This was a really good match.
It was. Naomi won. We both picked Naomi, so that was cool. And now she is pregnant. Her and Jimmy Uso are having a kid, so she vacated the women's title. The Wyatts versus Andrade and Rey Fenix versus DIY versus Fraxium versus the Motor City Machine Guns versus the Street Profits for the WWE Tag Titles in a TLC match. This match was fucking bonkers. It was great. Candice LeRae took a huge bump off the top of the ladder to the floor through ladders. That was gnarly, and kudos for her for doing it. But it was, I mean, it was 6 teams, or 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, 6 teams in a TLC match. It's just going to be fucking high spots and craziness everywhere. The Wyatts ended up retaining. We both picked that. We both won on that. Solo Sikoa versus Fatu for the U.S. title in a steel cage. You picked correctly. Solo won. AJ Styles versus Dominic Mysterio for the Intercontinental title. Dominic Mysterio won. You picked that correctly. What did I do? Did I not write down the Lyra Valkyria versus Becky Lynch? Oh, there it is. Becky Lynch versus Lyra Valkyria for the
This one we didn't
title. Both of us picked Lyra. Becky ended up winning, so.
Which is fucking stupid.
Right. And then Cena and Cody won. The whole John Cena thing, now he's babyface again. Now Ron Killings is back to being R-Truth because his hero John Cena is a good guy again. Truth, I think that would be even better.
Oh, definitely.
It gives way more avenues to go with Truth, so that I'm fine with that. All in all, SummerSlam, it was enjoying to watch, but it did not feel like SummerSlam.
Oh, no, it did not.
And it was 2 nights, and I know that they're raising these prices and they're doing these things so that TKO could pay off their debt, and then they think that they can lower prices at some point. It's not going to work. You piss off enough fans, they're not going to come back. WCW proved that. Once Vince Russo took over in 2000, the goodwill was gone.
Oh,
people
definitely.
stopped showing up. And the product is not good enough to where they're back to their old tropes. They're doing the walk-ins every fucking show where they show people walking in and then they describe what's going to happen on the show. And then they'll play a video package.
You know what I miss? Was the fucking drone shot.
Yeah, they're not doing that much anymore either. It feels like Vince McMahon and Kevin Dunn are back. I was watching the NXT Heatwave thing from Lowell, Massachusetts. They were doing the shaky camera shit on the outside again when Dark State was wrestling Hank and Tank. Did Kevin Dunn come back? Like, it just...
Him and his Bucky teeth?
Yeah, right. I don't get it. I really don't get it at all.
Thank you, Jim Cornette, for that comment.
Yeah, right. It just... WWE was interesting for a while, and now it seems like they're coasting again. They think they can just coast. Well, you can't keep raising your prices and start coasting again.
No.
It's just not... I have no... We live, an hour from Albany, New York? I have no interest to go see SmackDown in Albany. None.
No.
Because I know nosebleed ticket prices are going to be ridiculous. I'm going to 2 indie shows on my vacation. The combined ticket price for both of those shows is $55. And one of them is second row, and the other one we're going as general admission. It's first come, first serve, so who knows what seats we're going to get. But $33 for one show, and it's 20-something for the other show. So $22 for the other show. So I'm probably going to pay quadruple that to go to SmackDown.
Oh, definitely.
And the nosebleeds, and don't get me wrong, Albany's not a huge arena, but nosebleeds is not fun in that arena. So, and you never know what you're going to get as far as the seating. So.
Right, and look where we were for AEW.
Yeah, we had good seats for AEW. And
Yes, we did.
Other than my tooth being infected and being in a lot of pain, we got to see Hook win the FTW title, so that was pretty cool. It just...
but we've seen Chris Jericho how many fucking times throughout the night?
Right. I watch WWE out of habit again. It feels like mid-90s WWF, where I'm just watching it because it's wrestling. And I watched Forbidden Door. I had so much enjoyment out of watching that. The action and stuff was amazing on Forbidden Door. We will do a full review. But
I've been having so much fun watching the old stuff.
Yeah, I love going back through. I mean, we've got Hulk Hogan's unreleased collector's edition on Peacock right now. I love watching the old footage. I don't know. WWE's coasting and it's not doing good.
No, it is not. So I'm all set for when they switch over to ESPN because I did buy the triple pack with Hulu and Disney.
That's good.
For them.
I found out that I have Spectrum, and Spectrum, it's included in Spectrum, so I got to figure out.
So
how to do the app and all that stuff, which is fine.
Yes.
Because I'm not paying $30 a month to watch their fucking PLEs. I'm just not.
And if they bring all the old stuff on there, great.
Right. And that's another thing, like, are you leaving some of the library on Peacock? Which, Peacock has good movies and shit, so I'm cool with that. But splitting all this up, that's another thing. Splitting all this up for people have to pick and choose what they want to do with it.
Right.
That's stupid, but they're all about making money again, which I'm not into. And
no.
I don't know.
Mostly the stuff I've been watching, WCW.
Yeah, I love old school WCW. I just started watching WWF Breakdown from 1998. I wanted to do the end of 1998, so I'm going to do that.
Nice.
Going through the old stuff is just so much fun. But I love going to indie shows, and I love seeing new stuff as well. Did you watch any of wait, before I go to Triplemania, I have a logo for this segment that I'm going to do, but I do not have it on anything yet. I have an idea for what I'm going to do with it. But he has Nick's picks, and maybe I just want something for myself, so I'm doing a segment called Dave's Faves. Has nothing to do with, it may have to do with a little bit of wrestling. But I want to pick a movie each episode that I think everybody should check out. It might be an obscure movie. It might be a movie that everybody's seen, but it's one that I think is really good. And it might even be a guilty pleasure movie, and this one certainly is. Have you ever seen Chairman of the Board with Carrot Top?
Bits and pieces of it.
I love this movie. It's so... This is from a time when the comedies took anybody that had any kind of buzz, even a little bit of buzz, and they just threw a movie at them. It's good, it's funny, but it's also ridiculous. I mean, he inherits a company, and he's an inventor. I mean, Carrot Top does prop gags. So a movie where he's an inventor is perfect for him.
Oh, definitely.
So I'm sure he was using a lot of his jokes from his act in this movie. And I got this for like $5, on eBay. So, Chairman of the Board, if you find it on a streaming service or you want to spend the $5 on eBay to pick it up, that's part of Dave's Faves. I have a logo made. I will have something. I have an idea, and I'm going to tell you the idea later. But Chairman of the Board with Carrot Top, check it out. Did you watch any of Triplemania?
On Facebook, yes.
Okay. I thought this was really good. Whatever they're doing, their deal with AAA, I think AAA is really, really good. One thing I noticed I want to talk about during a certain match. They started out with a Royal Rumble style match they called the Bardal Cup. I love Conan, Corey Graves, and JBL on commentary. Great announce team. Awesome. And Conan was playing the heel announcer because he runs a group in AAA of heels. So I love that. It started out with La Parka. This is not 1990s WCW La Parka. AAA owns the name, so it's a different La Parka. They resurrected the character. He does all the mannerisms. He does the dancing. It's awesome. I like it. And then next was Laredo Kid, Joaquin Wilde from the LWO, Abismo Negro Jr., Taurus, also used to be Black Taurus, not Beast Mortos, although he's got the same build, he wears the same outfit, he has kind of the same tattoos. AAA owns the name Taurus, so that's why the guy had to change his name to Beast Mortos, and he's complaining that they're using it. They own it. They own the character. So what are you going to do? That's like when WWF did the fake Razor Ramon and Diesel. They own the copyrights. They have all the right to do it. So you can complain all you want, but it's not going to matter. Out next was Aerostar, then Mecha Wolf, Cruz del Toro, and then Otis came out to the Chad Gable shush music, which I thought was funny. And then Pimpinella Escarlata. Some of the Mexican names are really weird for me. Cibernetico, who is a huge legend. Watch Royal Rumble 1997. That's how long that man's been wrestling.
Yeah.
Micro Man, who is 3 feet. I think he's 3 foot 3. Oh my God!
Yes.
Entertaining as hell, and just great. And then of course the next one out is Omos, who's 7'6" or something. And it was funny. I mean, he lifted Microman over his head and tossed him out of the ring. But Microman pinned Otis, which is just funny as hell. You know, it was like a little kid on the swings. His feet were kicking because, Otis is laying down, and Microman's just on top of him. Good stuff. It came down to Omos and La Parka, and Omos won. So, I mean, it was entertaining. It was cool. Then the Latin American Championship, El Macias versus Hijo the Dr. Wagner Jr. If you don't know who El Macias is, he was Judas Messias in TNA, and he was Mil Muertes in Lucha Underground. Huge star in Mexico and Puerto Rico. Macias came out looking like Dr. Doom. I thought that was badass. That was really cool. I love Conan being the heel announcer repping his group because Macias is part of that group. Dr. Wagner, El Hijo's father, got involved, or Dr. Wagner Jr., because he was in the front row, and Hijo won and became the champion. So it was a good match. This is the match that I loved. Lola Vice, Hamburguesa, and Mr. Iguana in a mixed tag against the Judgment Day.
Yes.
Judgment Day looked badass walking down to the ring, and this is what I noticed. I understood every word of the Judgment Day's music, which means they are pumping in crowd noise in WWE again. Because how often do you understand all the words of the Judgment Day's music on Raw? Tell me a point where you can do that. They were not pumping any crowd noise in at this Triple H show. They didn't need to.
No.
They're doing it again. And that bothers me. It feels like Vince is back.
Ugh.
You don't... maybe it's because the crowd is silent. But when I can clearly tell the difference between the music being louder or more understandable, you can't say it's the arena, you can't say it's the way the show's set up, because it's your fucking show. It's your director, it's your technical crew, it's not Triple A's, so you can't blame it on that. So I believe they're pumping in crowd noise again on WWE shows. So Balor brought out a demon puppet to battle La Yesca with Mr. Iguana. And they're selling them on WWE Shop. They're $100.
Fuck!
And I'm not going to lie, I want one. I'm not going to lie, I do. It's one of those random things that made me pop on a wrestling show, and I want one. And I noticed the puppet is not available on Amazon anymore. But this is cool. He's got one of the iguanas. We have this on our table. I love Mr. Iguana. I wish they would use him. Stop. Please stop. You're annoying as fuck. But I love you anyways. And this was an entertaining match. Raquel Rodriguez beat Lola Vice with a Tejana bomb. And I thought it was this was a really good show in my opinion. Then they did a tag team championship street fight match. Los Garza against Pagano and Psycho Clown. There was kendo sticks wrapped in barbed wire. There was a barbed wire Spanish fly at one point. I don't remember what the exact spot was. New tag champs, Pagano and Psycho Clown, so that's really cool.
Which was really cool to see Psycho Clown on SmackDown. Did you see him take the frickin' mask?
He did it at the AAA show too. He's got a mask where he pulls it off and it's like he's ripping his face off, and it's a different mask underneath. Really, really cool, really inventive. I really like it. Then they did an awesome retrospective on Conan's career. They used footage from... I wish they would have used some TNA footage, too.
Yes.
Now that they've got to deal with TNA, because his stuff with the Through Live crew and LAX was really cool. Maybe think about those little details every once in a while, but I really liked it. So he goes into the AAA Hall of Fame. That was really cool. And during his kind of speech and stuff, Rey Mysterio inducted him. And during his speech, Conan called out a fan who was being a dick to Rey Mysterio's family, so I thought that was pretty cool. Then they did the Reina de Reyes Championship, which Deonna Purrazzo held at one point. Just got to throw my favorite wrestler in there. Natalia, who was doing her indie gimmick, Natty, like a badass character, against Flammer and Fabi Apache. I got to admit, I haven't watched a lot of AAA, so the names kind of escape me sometimes. I thought it was an okay match, and Flammer retained. And then the main event for the Mega Championship, the 4-way, Dominic Mysterio versus Vikingo versus El Grande Americano versus Dragon Lee. There was mariachis, and El Grande Americano sung himself to the ring. It was great. And it's Ludwig Kaiser. It wasn't Chad Gable.
Yes!
They're doing the whole gimmick, which is great.
With the real El Americanos, please stand up.
Dude, it's great. I'm sorry.
Yes.
Some of the weird stuff I really enjoy. But Dragon Lee also had a really cool entrance with dragon wings, which I thought, like motorized dragon wings, which is cool. Vikingo got double powerbomb through a table. It was a crazy match, high spots. The Judgment Day interfered, and AJ Styles helped Vikingo retain. Vikingo got booed really badly. The fans do not want him as champion, and a lot of it is, I think, Del Rio was the champion, and a lot of people are saying that he's going to get signed by WWE and they're going to bring him back to like Raw or SmackDown. I don't see that happening.
No.
He's got a lot of stink on him. I don't see that happening. I mean, they got that title off of him real quick once they announced that they bought the company. So I don't think they have confidence in Del Rio at all. I could be wrong, but I don't think I'm wrong, but I could be. And if I am, I will admit it. But I thought Triplemania was really good. If this is the way they're going to keep going with AAA, and they're going to kind of sprinkle them into WWE here and there, or NXT, I'm all for it.
Definitely. Really and if they add them as a DLC, hell yes.
Right. What have you been doing with the video game lately?
I haven't been doing much with it, but I did fire up the old PlayStation 3, which I did show you. Yep.
What were you playing on that?
I started playing Grand Theft Auto 4 again.
Which I do need to do.
Yep, and I fired up the original version of Grand Theft Auto 5.
Nice. That's cool. So, yeah, you started to grab your sign. You want to get into it?
Drum roll.
I don't have the drum roll set up. I'm sorry. Here. Oops. Oh, you're knocking stuff over. It's time for Nick's picks. And your track record of picking interesting shows continues. What did you pick this time?
The only one it was called, but later on it became Hog Road Wild. Yep. It was Hog Wild 96.
Yep. And do you know why they had to change the name?
No, I can't remember.
Harley Davidson owns the copyright and trademark to the word hog to talk about motorcycles. So that's why WCW had to change the name. Because they got a cease and desist from Harley, which Harley's got a lot of money, so I wouldn't go against them if they send me a cease and desist. But I wrote that down. They had to change the name next year because of Harley. It was in Sturgis, South Dakota. If you don't know, like the biggest biker rally in the world is in Sturgis, South Dakota every year, even during COVID, which is fucked up. Whatever. This is the show where Bobby Heenan was supposedly drunk during the show. I couldn't really tell that, but, I mean, with him and Dusty going back and forth, how could you really tell, you know, but... the opening match for the Cruiserweight title, Ultimo Dragon versus Rey Mysterio.
This was a really good match.
Rey Mysterio came in as champion. Great cruiser match. It just kept getting better. Their feud kept getting better as well. Mysterio won. I had to put this, in my opinion, the horns and the revving of the engines was just as annoying as Bill Alfonso's whistle was in ECW. I get it. They're outdoors. They got motorcycles. That's what they're going to do to show their support. It just annoyed the fuck out of me through this whole show, but whatever. What did you think of this match?
I liked it. I really did.
I do too. Ultimo Dragon is highly underrated in my opinion.
Oh, definitely.
The fact that we got to see him at a convention one time was really cool. I like the Dean Malenko matches with Rey Mysterio, but him and Ultimo Dragon, him and Juventud, him and Psychosis just can't be beat. And Ultimo Dragon was one of the best ones. This match, Scott Norton versus Ice Train, the breakup of the Fire and Ice team. It was an okay power versus power match, but it just... Sometimes these matches just aren't good. Having trouble getting them gloves off, are you?
They're a little bit too small.
Norton won with an Fujiwara armbar. The story to that was Ice Train had been beaten up by the Giant earlier in the night on like the pre-show, so his arm was already taped up. So Norton used the arm bar. It was okay.
Wait, he used one of Dean Malenko's moves?
Yeah, right. This match was just Medusa against Bull Nakano. The loser of the match, their motorcycle would get destroyed. Of course, Nakano came on a crotch rocket and, or rice rocket, which I don't know if that's racist or not, but whatever. And Medusa came out on like an American, chopper. And it was an okay match. They had better matches than the WWF, in my opinion. Sonny Ono grabbed the sledgehammer that was going to be used to... destroy the motorcycle, which would have taken like 3 hours if they did it with a friggin' sledgehammer, but as evident by the end of the match. But Medusa, they kind of just made it like a DQ. Medusa won, and she used the sledgehammer on Bull Nakano's bike, which just broke off a bit of the plastic. She had to actually pull it off, and then she like shoved it over as like a sign of defiance, whatever. It was okay. I mean, they weren't doing much with Medusa at this point, which sucks. But and then this match went way too long. It was a good match. Don't get me wrong.
It was.
But for this crowd and everything, it went way too long.
If it was a true wrestling fan crowd, it would have been
it would have
great.
torn the house down. Yeah,
definitely, and it could have been a different finish. Definitely could have been a different finish.
Chris Benoit with Woman and Miss Elizabeth versus Dean Malenko. I wrote great match, but way too long. Benoit won with a roll-up. And they even went, didn't they go to overtime? Like sudden
twice.
Overtime. Yeah, twice, yeah. In front of bikers that are sitting in a gravel parking lot. Like, they don't, I get it, it's pay-per-view too, and you got to put on a good match, but maybe do that the next month at Fall Brawl or something. Like,
I think they were probably the only reason why they did it, probably twice overtime, is because they probably were scrambling for a couple more matches to fill for filler.
Maybe, I don't know. And then the tag titles, Harlem Heat with Sherry against the Steiner Brothers. I wrote they're revving the engines too much. Harlem Heat came in as the champions. Oh, and Colonel Robert Parker was with Harlem Heat. What did I write? They used the powder to throw powder in the eyes, and then Colonel Parker used the cane. Harlem Heat retained. It was a good match. I mean, the Steiners and Harlem Heat, it's going to be a good match. But
you want to talk about my favorite Sherry? 1990s sensational Sherry.
With Macho Man or with Shawn Michaels?
No, I'm talking about WCW.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah, I mean, she did a lot in WCW.
Yes.
She had a lot. She did good matches. She was jumping off the top rope all the time, taking bumps, taking atomic drops from Hulk Hogan, so, taking clotheslines from Hulk Hogan.
Yes, your favorite is Miss Elizabeth from WCW.
Dude, Miss Elizabeth was fire in WCW.
Definitely.
I don't think she had cosmetic surgery, but she got better as she got older, in my opinion. Miss Elizabeth was fire in WCW. I'm sorry. This is my favorite match of the night. U.S. title match, Eddie Guerrero versus Ric Flair. Ric Flair had Woman and Miss Elizabeth with him. I love this era of Ric Flair. He was kind of doing the same thing in all his matches, but when he was a heel and he had a guy like Eddie Guerrero, he really showed out, and I thought he really did in this match. Flair won with the figure four, which is always cool to see Flair win with the figure four.
They went through a series of matches with each other, which were really good.
Yeah, I agree. This is, I would say, check this match out, and the Ultimo Guerrero Rey Mysterio match, but and then this match, the Outsiders against Lex Luger and Sting, really good tag match. I love the Outsiders as a team.
Yes.
The thing is that I wish Scott Hall's Demons hadn't caught up with him. I think they could have had a long run all through WCW as the Outsiders. They kind of had it here and there. They reunited a few times. But when the Wolfpack broke off, and Scott Hall had really been on his game, the Outsiders as the linchpin of the Wolfpack, oh my God, that would have been even more popular than it was. They're just so good.
And if his Demons didn't catch up with him in WWE, and like I showed you, if they did a what if, the NWO continued and Hogan won the undisputed title belt, and they fucking spray painted it.
That would have been cool. That would have been badass. Nick Patrick kicked Luger in the ring in the knee while he was doing the torture rack, and the NWO won.
Damn you, Nick Patrick!
Yeah, this was the start of heel Nick Patrick, which was
I love heel Nick Patrick.
And then the main event, Hollywood Hogan versus the Giant. Giant coming in as champion. Lots of stalling by Hogan. This was walk and talk Hogan at this point.
Yeah.
Which, as a heel, fine. Taking less bumps, at this point. Hogan doing the histrionics, fine with me. It really worked with his character. Being the chicken shit heel that would complain and walk around the ring, perfectly fine with me. The Giant hulked up at one point, and then the Outsiders came out. He chokeslammed both of them. Hogan uses the belt and wins the matchup. Brutus comes out with the old NWO stuff with the Terminator, head on it.
I love that one.
With a cake because it was Hogan's birthday, and it had a spray paint can on it. This is the iconic. Grab your belt if you've got it right there. This is the iconic moment. Hogan takes the spray paint can, spray paints the belt, attacks Brutus Beefcake, attacks his brother, and all that. And that was the start of that iconic NWO run. I loved it. This was a good pick by you, I got to admit. There was some crap, but it was a good pick. I really enjoyed that.
And the biggest reason why I picked it, because that's what it was basically the second birth of the NWO.
Okay, yeah. Do you have a pick this time, or you haven't thought about it yet?
Haven't thought about it yet.
Okay, well, I'm sure you'll come up with one.
Did we do Bash at the Beach 96 yet?
I don't think we have. Is that what you want to do? Stay with the Hogan theme?
Yes.
Okay, well, I'll write that down.
Because I want to do the origins of the NWO.
I like it. We're going to talk a little bit about that now. We're going to go into Hulk Hogan. Passed away a few weeks ago. I know he's got a lot of, bad racist stuff and all that stuff, and he wasn't a really good person, but he's the reason I became a wrestling fan. So I'm going to separate, which is harder to do with Chris Benoit, I'm going to separate the person from the character. Hulk Hogan, train, say your prayers, eat your vitamins, and then the fourth one, believe in yourself, which I always loved as an addition later on in his career. He's the reason I became a wrestling fan. I saw him, it was February 1998, 1988, I was just about to turn 7 years old. I remember seeing the highlights leading up to the contract signing for Hogan and Andre to go to Saturday night's main event. At the first Royal Rumble, I remember seeing Hulk Hogan slam Andre the Giant from WrestleMania 7. They were playing like the highlight video of it. That hooked me. Seeing Hulk Hogan do that body slam, I had no concept of what wrestling was, but I was all about it after I saw that. And then I saw him on the magazine covers, and that started making me watching it. You sit down as a little kid in the 80s, on Saturday mornings, you're going to find wrestling. So this was before Monday Night Raw and all that stuff, so it was awesome, and I was hooked on it from then. The music, the red and yellow, the tearing of the shirt, the promos. I'm sorry. Him and Macho Man were doing some cocaine at that point. I'm sorry. Steroids doesn't make you that hype.
No.
Maybe he wasn't, but watch some of those promos from the 80s and tell me they weren't doing some cocaine. Tell me they weren't doing some booger sugar back then. I'm sorry. But so when did you first start noticing Hogan? Because you're like, 10 years younger than me?
Right around the NWO origins and stuff. Okay. Right in there.
This is when you start. Yeah, that's
like
when
96 or 97. Okay. It was. Yeah,
and so what were your? So you saw heel Hogan, which is that was your introduction, which is great.
And I fucking love heel Hogan.
I do too. I mean, he was a heel in the beginnings of his career in the WWF, way back in the 70s and the early 80s. Well, in the 70s, he wasn't in the 80s because that's when he came. But the heel Hogan in the NWO era is untouched. I'm sorry. That whole thing was great. But WrestleMania 1 through 9 was all about Hulk Hogan, every single main event. WrestleMania 1, it's him and Mr. T with Jimmy Superfly Snuka in the corner against Mr. Wonderful Paul Orndorff, Roddy Piper with Cowboy Bob Orton in the corner. And I want to say, I've met everybody involved in that match except Mr. T. I met Cowboy Bob Orton, I met Paul Orndorff, I met Roddy Piper, and I met Hulk Hogan. So,
that's fucking saying something.
I'd love to meet Mr. T if I could find him at a Comic-Con not near me somewhere. That would make it complete.
That would be
awesome. And the tie-in of Mr. T, he was big off the A-Team in the 80s at that point. Perfect tie-in, and that was when they were throwing every celebrity they could at WrestleMania. Liberace and Billy Martin, and it was crazy back then.
Muhammad Ali,
yeah.
And Cyndi Lauper.
Cyndi Lauper was the catalyst, but then WrestleMania 2, you've got Hulk Hogan against King Kong Bundy in the big blue steel cage.
Your favorite cage is
Big Blue. I
Blue.
love the Big Blue. It may have been hard on the wrestlers with how stiff it was, but the visual of that Big Blue cage where you can see better through the wide openings in it. I loved that cage. And the sound it made when they rammed into it. I'm sure it didn't feel good, but it was just a loud bang whenever they run into it.
A rattle.
Yeah, it would rattle. It was great. They used it a couple of times at the end of the 90s, like 98, 99. They painted it black at one point. The cage match with Vince McMahon and Stone Cold where Big Show debuted, that was the Big Blue cage. They just painted it black at that point. WrestleMania 3, the iconic match. Andre the Giant, Hulk Hogan, the body slam heard around the world. One of my favorite parts is Jesse Ventura doing the tail of the tape, as they're going down to the ring. Just, the measurements of Andre's wrists and all that stuff. Just so good. The whole pay-per-view in itself was okay. I mean, it had the Macho Man against Ricky Steamboat iconic match.
Definitely.
But for audience wanting something so badly and the story told, I don't know how you do better than that match, other than maybe a match I want to talk about later. WrestleMania 4, Hogan against Andre in the tournament, and Macho Man Randy Savage eventually comes in as champion. Granted, Hogan wasn't in the main event, but he's involved in it because he's in Macho Man's corner and helps him win the title. WrestleMania 5, my favorite WrestleMania of all time. He's against the Macho Man, heel Macho Man, and he wins the belt. The boot, the leg drop. He kicks out of the Macho Man flying elbow, which nobody had done at that point. He hulks up, big boot and a leg drop, and he wins. WrestleMania 6.
The Ultimate Challenge.
Him against Ultimate Warrior, which created some of the weirdest gifs ever where it looks like Ultimate Warrior's giving Hogan a blowjob. But this back and forth, doing finishers and the referee bumps and just the story told in that match. The anointing of Ultimate Warrior as the next guy, he never really was. He didn't have the popularity, and Hogan kind of cut his nuts off anyways by coming back and doing the feud with Earthquake. But... And then WrestleMania 7, Hogan against Sergeant Slaughter. The American Patriot against the Iraqi Turncoat. Not the greatest WrestleMania of all time, but it was good. Hogan against Sid at WrestleMania 8. Hogan's kind of retirement, but not really, And then WrestleMania 9, it wasn't supposed to be about Hogan, but he came back in the Mega Maniacs with Brutus in the tag match against Money Inc. And then later on in the night, he wins the title from Yokozuna. Classic Hogan, and then he doesn't defend it until June. He wins it in April and doesn't defend it till June, hardly on TV at all. But, that doesn't work for me, brother. It's just... So, and then WrestleMania 10, like the 10th anniversary is the first WrestleMania without Hulk Hogan. How much more iconic of a character can you be where the first 9 yearly events are, well, you are the star. I'm sorry. You're the main star. I love Bret Hart. Bret Hart's one of my favorite wrestlers. But Hogan was the guy that they were going to go with that night. And it just throws shade on Hogan a little bit for, kind of taking Bret's steam a little bit. Because that match with Yokozuna was good, and Bret should have been the guy at that point. Bret was the workhorse of that company. And he would become eventually, like 94, 95, 96, 97 Bret Hart. 97 Bret Hart, I don't think can be beat. The promos that he was cutting, I know this is about Hogan, but the 97 promos, the heel Canada stuff, I don't think you can beat.
And, my God, this is around when NWO came in.
Yeah.
And just a freaking back and forth, the Monday Night Wars.
Yeah, that was good stuff.
You never knew what was going to happen.
Right. And then in 93, 92, 93, Hogan films Thunder in Paradise. He does some movies. And then he signs with WCW. They do the big ticker tape parade in Universal or MGM.
Yes, MGM.
They give him a custom Dodge Viper that he ended up selling later. I think he did it for charity. But it's all Hulkster, red and yellow. Jimmy Hart's running around like a maniac with a megaphone around the car, and it was crapretty. They did the weird stuff with like the Dungeon of Doom.
Oh,
they threw every big man from his past, pretty much every wrestler from his past at him in 94, 95. He had great matches with Vader. I loved the matches with Vader.
I loved a lot of the matches with Ric Flair, earlier Ric Flairs.
Yeah, I mean, Bash at the Beach 94, when Hogan debuted, just the spectacle of that was just, Hogan was leaner. He hadn't been doing the steroids and all that stuff. His head was, I never noticed how big his head was until Bash at the Beach 94, but maybe it's because he was leaner. When he was, all puffy and huge, you didn't realize how big his head was. But that 94, 95 run was all right. One of my guilty pleasures, I got to talk about this. Starrcade 94.
Yes!
The horrible match with Brutus Beefcake as the Butcher. The fact that this was a main event on a Starrcade. Your buddy, your friend, you make him the main event, the heel in the main event against you. It's so horrible. It's so much fun to watch, though. It just, And Hogan's contract, he was making so much money. Like, I remember WCW was losing money on the T-shirts because of what they paid to make them and what they paid, to sell them. Hogan made so much of a cut that WCW was losing money on him. Oh, wait, I forgot about this. Speaking of WCW merchandise, one of the favorite things that I have, the iconic pose. I mean, he's got the Hulkster WCW belt. He's got the iconic cross, around his neck. I love the foam fingers. I remember buying these as a kid. I used to have the Razor Ramon one from the mid-90s. I had the Tatanka Tomahawk. I think I had the Hacksaw Jim Duggan 2x4 at one point. And I believe I had the Big Boss Man nightstick at one point. But this, I love this. This is so.
Every time we have a wrestling show or pay-per-view to watch, he always brought this out.
I did. We haven't done that as much lately, and we need to go back to doing that.
Yes,
the prediction boards and stuff. But I love that. That's a piece I'll never get rid of.
And
I really like that.
The one I gave you, the Daniel Bryan foam finger.
Yeah, I have that still too. The NWO, I think it was like a couple weeks or maybe even the week after Austin 316. Hulk Hogan turns heel at Bash at the Beach, dropping the leg drop on Macho Man Randy Savage, doing that iconic promo with Mean Gene in the ring with the Outsiders behind him, saying I did it all for the money and, screw the fans. It just...
And that's the only time you heard him mention it, and then...
Yep. It just... That whole run, even the weird stuff like the finger poke of doom.
Oh my God.
The horrible... One of the worst matches ever with the Ultimate Warrior at Halloween Havoc 98. But I'm not saying he could do no wrong, but he worked it so well. It was just the new merchandise all the time, like the shirt you're wearing, the Hogan shirt, coming out with Jimi Hendrix like you did today.
Yes.
Granted, it's not on Peacock, which drives me nuts.
Oh, I know.
When they did a DVD, the Host Still Rules DVD, they used Jimi Hendrix. They played it and all of that, which I love. That's one of my favorite.
I want to say this is my second favorite Hogan shirt.
That I like that.
And my favorite one is on the way.
Okay, which one's that?
It's on this action figure.
Oh, I bought that one at his...
Where he's like this, with the Hogan tattoo.
Yeah, which he never had a tattoo, but that makes it even funnier. What did you think of the NWO run? What was your favorite parts of the NWO run, as you'd say?
My favorite is whenever they got on commentary.
Oh, that was good stuff.
Yes, I freaking loved them on commentary.
Hogan, my thing was... Hogan trying to play off of the Outsiders. The Outsiders were the epitome of cool. And Hogan was straight up doing 80s Jerry Lawler, heel stuff.
Yes.
And at the beginning, it didn't work. But once Hogan finally got a rhythm into it, like you said, when they got on the commentary, and they could try to, the outsiders, you could see them kind of calm it down, and they would cut in and stuff.
Yes.
And they were kind of getting Hogan to dial it down a little bit, you know what I mean? But yeah, that was gold when they used to get on commentary. My
favorite is when fucking Scott Hall goes, I have to ask you, are you really Andre's son?
Yeah.
And Hogan just, yes, he is. He is actually Andre's son.
Yeah, that was really good, yeah. The whole NWO, not the whole NWO, but it was, I mean, when they merged the Wolf Pack and the Black and White back together, did the finger poke of doom, and then Hogan's got the skull cap on with both the red, the black, and the white on, and he's like doing the air guitar as if it's he's like Paul Stanley and Kiss playing that as if it's a real guitar, just going over the top, and he's dressing like he's, too cool for school when he's got like the flannel.
Oh my God, yeah.
It's like he raided Conan's, wardrobe and just said, I'm gonna wear this out there, brother, and just,
Conan, I'm stealing from you.
Dude, it was crazy. But it was, I'm not gonna say gold because WCW was kind of going downhill at that point, but
and then 99 hits. I think it was towards the end of 99. Then who comes back out? The actual Hulkster!
Yeah, he starts doing the red and yellow again, and then he would go back and forth between Hulk Hogan and Hollywood Hogan and stuff. And then in 2000, he does the feud with Billy Kidman, and he comes out wearing just a vest and jeans, and he has FUNB on the back of his jacket, which was FU New Blood. I really liked this era.
Yes!
I mean, he had guns pulled on him when he was trying to attack Eric Bischoff backstage. Just on a pay-per-view, which was just crazy. And he got powerbombed through a table a couple of times in this feud with Billy Kidman. Didn't go anywhere.
No.
But,
and that was the last time we seen, Macho Man was when he got powerbombed through an announcement table.
Right. And then Bash at the Beach 2000, the screw job.
Yep.
Jarrett lays down and Hogan pins him with a boot on the chest. And then Vince Russo does this promo saying, you'll never see that bald son of a bitch again. And Hogan walks out with the belt, which was a replica belt. And, well, it might not have been it might have been a real belt, but it was a cast copy of the original big gold belt. And which was funny because Hogan displayed it at his beat shop as if it was the original belt, which still had the Jeff Jarrett nameplate on it. Just, which is funny to me, but whatever. And if you listen to Hulk Hogan, I have Hulk Hogan's audiobook from 2002. If you listen to that, you would think that Hulk Hogan has no blame in any of that whatsoever. Like as if his creative control didn't have anything to do with that whatsoever. Right. I'm not sticking up for Vince Russo, but it couldn't have been easy if you're throwing stuff at him and he's saying no all the time. Granted, I'm sure Vince Russo threw so much shit at the wall to see if it would stick, but I'm not a big Russo defender, but
no. And I can't stand fucking Vince Russo.
I know you think it's the funniest thing whenever Jim Cornette goes.
Yes. Then we come to 2002.
Mm-hmm.
That Vince wants to destroy what he created.
Yep.
And he's gonna inject the venom of the poison of the NWO.
Jim Ross went fucking crazy with the whole poison thing. He mentioned that on commentary like every fucking 5 minutes. It's the poison. It's poison. Like, oh my God. 2002 JR and King were unbearable sometimes. King in 2002 to 2003 was like Michael Cole in like 2011 at that point. I'm sorry. But they're right. They come back as the NWO. Hogan gets the huge reaction. To be honest, I think Scott Hall got a bigger reaction than Hogan did at at No Way Out when they came back. If you will go back and watch that, granted, Hogan got a bigger pop at WrestleMania and further on, but Scott Hall got the biggest pop of anybody at No Way Out.
Then we lead into, like you said, WrestleMania. The Rock versus Hogan.
Yep. And Hogan did a lot of the walking and talking, but it was also a great match. He did his poses. The crowd was going absolutely batshit. And I wanted the NWO to continue, but at that point, you couldn't deny it. The crowd wanted the red and yellow again. He wins the undisputed title from The Undertaker.
Yes.
You know,
no, not from The Undertaker. It was from Triple H.
Triple H. Triple H had won it from The Undertaker, and then Hogan won it from Triple H. That's right.
No, Triple H won it at WrestleMania. Then they unified them into the one belt.
But then Undertaker had it, right?
Yep, Undertaker defeated Hulk Hogan for it.
Okay. Yeah, you're right. My bad. And to be honest, for Undertaker to become #1 contender, had one of the worst matches of all time against Stone Cold Steve Austin with Ric Flair as the referee. I am not going to recommend this match.
No.
It was one of the shittiest matches. I'm going to go out on a limb. It is Hulk Hogan Ultimate Warrior 98 bad. In my opinion, Hulk Hogan or Stone Cold and Undertaker never had a good match, in my opinion. And a lot of people say SummerSlam 98. I still say that's a shit match. I don't think they ever had a good match. The Buried Alive match they had, I still say that was a shit match. The fully loaded match, the First Blood one, maybe it's okay. You know, the lead up to it with Austin sprinting down to the ring and doing the stunner to Jeff Jarrett and stuff was cool. But I don't think they ever had a good match, but that's just me. But this era of Hulk Hogan, the crowd is so into him. The thing in Montreal where the Montreal crowd would just stop cheering for him when he's trying to talk. He wins the undisputed title, and then he wins the tag titles with Edge on the 4th of July. And then he puts over Brock Lesnar. Lesnar's bear hug,
And that was awesome.
Yep, it was. It was a great way to start.
It was their only one-off encounter ever.
Yep. Yeah, it was, yeah.
And Hogan goes away for a while, then comes back in 2003.
Yep.
For the Montreal, Hogan Rock 2. You called The Rock a Rocket Jabroni?
I was going to say that. The Rocket Jabroni.
Yes!
It was so good. Hollywood Rock was great. The final boss is shit, but the Hollywood Rock was great. WrestleMania 19 with against Vince McMahon.
20 years in the making.
Yep. Roddy Piper returns and hits both of them with a lead pipe. Just, oh my God, it was, I'm not going to defend Vince, but it was a good match and a lot of story told. And then this right here.
Your favorite.
You may think that it's cheesy, and this is El Grande Americano in 2003. He comes, it's clearly, at one point, he lifts up the thing and you see it's Hulk Hogan. Like, it's on camera. Like, but they do the segment where Vince McMahon has Hulk Hogan hooked up to a lie detector, which lie detectors are bullshit to begin with. They measure how nervous you are. They don't measure if you're lying or not. That's pseudoscience. That's bullshit. I'm sorry. Do some research on it. Lie detectors are shit. They're not even admissible in court most times. So, but he's got Hulk Hogan hooked up, and he's saying, "Are you Mr. America, or are you Hulk Hogan?" And he's saying, "No." And then they hook Vince McMahon up, and Vince McMahon starts lying the whole time. It's just, it didn't last long. He had a match with Piper at, I want to say Backlash. It was it was Mr. America and Piper.
No, Judgment Day.
Was it? Was it?
Judgment Day.
Okay. But it didn't last long. It only lasted a couple months. But I had to buy this mask when I saw it. It was like $45.
I'm so glad I sent it to you, though.
Yeah. But and then he didn't come back again until
05.
05. The SummerSlam match with Shawn Michaels.
Oh my God, my fucking favorite. You want a good fucking laugh? Man. Fucking oversell from Shawn Michaels.
Well, before that, though, the Larry King style interview.
Yes, the interview
parodies Hulk Hogan. brother, and and doing like the chest pains and all. Oh my God, it's just so great. But yes, the overselling of Shawn Michaels
because he was fucking pissed.
He was pissed because Hogan used his creative control and said, "I'm not going to do that." That series of matches could have been great. And we got to mention before that, Hogan returned at WrestleMania, attacked Muhammad Hassan, and then at Backlash he teamed with Shawn Michaels against Muhammad Hassan and Daivari, and then they did a tag match on Raw, and that's where Shawn Michaels super kicked Hogan and you know.
After the second time, after the third time they tagged because they had six-man tag with John Cena, and John Cena was posing with him and everything.
You're right about that. You're right. And then in 2006 at SummerSlam against Randy Orton, not a great match. Hogan was old at this point. And then Hogan would come in here and there to do appearances like at anniversaries of Raw and stuff like that. He got inducted into the Hall of Fame.
Then let's not forget his TNA run.
His TNA run was interesting. I mean, there was good points, there was bad points. I have it still on the wall. I have an 8x10 of when he had his last match in TNA, him ripping off the shirt. It's autographed. I have it framed with a couple of his cards. Another thing before a couple of things. A Hulk Hogan watch with, they put him on everything back then. And then this...
Your Hulk Hogan camera?
Dude, this thing, I'm sorry. The kitschiest, the weirdest. I've mentioned this on the show before. A Hulk Hogan, yes, 35mm camera, kids. Look that up. Where every photograph, there's a little picture of Hulk Hogan in the corner. Who can't... I want to know what drug this person was on where they saw Hulk Hogan camera... imprint of Hulk Hogan on every camera, every picture.
Hey, Vince had to greenlight it, so...
I'm not going to lie. I want to open this and see if this still fucking works. I want to see if I take pictures with this. If I might buy another sealed one and just open this one and just be... Because I want to see if this fucking works. This to me is one of the greatest pieces of merchandise, weirdest and greatest pieces of merchandise ever. I want to show my favorite home video of all time, Coliseum video, Hulkamania 4. This
probably has been worn out.
This is a different one. This is not my original copy. Because yes, I did wear the fuck out of this video. But he wrestles Bad News Brown, and he brings out a huge shovel at one point. This is no holds barred era Hulk Hogan. This is, I don't remember what I did with my notes. I actually had notes about this tape. This is gold to me. I love this. You cannot find, it's not on Peacock or anything. You can find DVD copies of it online, like bootleg ones. I mean, it's VHS to DVD, but if you can, this is good. I'm sorry, this is good. The matches on it are good. The promos, Hogan doing promos before every, alone. Just like Tito Santana and Demolition and the Bushwhackers all saying what Hulkamania means to them. And then Macho Man and Sherry doing a promo about what Hulk Hogan means to them. Just, oh my God. It's worth the price of admission just to buy a bootleg copy of this. It's just incredible. So I would recommend finding a copy of this. I love this tape. And then I had to show these. I don't remember where I bought these, but old school, July 1989. Look at that. That's bodybuilder Hulk Hogan. One of the old magazine subscription things fell out. The program for WrestleMania 5, the Mega Powers Explode. Just, oh my God. March 19. Look at that. That's roided up, puffy Hulk Hogan. I have that bandana too. Shout out to Mikey Cheese. I bought it from Mikey Cheese. But look at the Winged Eagle belt. I'm sorry. He may have been a shit person, but that's just, oh my God.
Then we got the American flag.
Yes. April 1991, the WrestleMania, look, it's got the WrestleMania pay-per-view, on the back. Just Hulk Hogan, defender of the faith, the flag, and honor. Oh my God. And then this.
No holds barred.
It may not be a great movie. To me, it's like Howard the Duck level cult favorite movie. No holds barred. Zeus and Rip, on the cover. It's got the Mega Powers Explode on the back. Oh my God, this is... Yes. I'm sorry. He may have been a bad person, but he's the reason I became a fan. So, I will post pictures. I got to write this down because I keep saying I'm going to post pictures. But pictures from Wrestling Under the Stars, the first one from 2012. I have the ticket stub still. September 22nd, 7 p.m., Dutchess County Stadium, Fishkill, New York, one of the flyers from it. Hulk Hogan, Roddy Piper were there. The first time they had been in a ring together since WrestleMania from 2003. So I have pictures from that, which is them staring each other down, which was great. Hogan signed for 5 hours. He had a couple back surgeries at that point. He stood behind a podium and signed pictures for 5 hours. I'm sure he made a shitload of money for that. Because the combo was $150. I would have paid more than that. He was wearing like a black bandana and sunglasses. He was like 2002 NWO Hulk Hogan. He had like a black, just generic, like his beat shop kind of shirt. Fine with me. I got to meet my childhood idol. I didn't give a shit. I was going to wait in that line as long as I had to. He said, "What's up, brother?" I shook his hand. We did the picture, and I left. That's the way it was. It was like a meat packing line. You were just going. It was a conveyor belt. But to me, he's gone now. Nobody can ever meet him again. I got to meet, other than meeting Undertaker, who is my favorite wrestler of all time, getting to meet Hulk Hogan, I can die happy. I'm sorry. He may not have been a good person, but he was the reason I became a wrestler. I wish you could have met him.
I wish I would have got a chance to meet him. Well, I can't say this. I'm so glad I got to meet Jimmy Hart, though.
Yeah, Jimmy Hart's an awesome dude. So that was really cool. Like I said, I will post pictures of that. I will post a picture of the ticket stub, the flyer. I will post the pictures from that event. The fact that I got to meet him, I've gone to his beach shop when my parents were living in Florida. I would go every year to his beach shop. I got this shirt from there. I got lots of shirts from there.
You got me a couple shirts. Yeah. You got me the weightlifting belt from there.
Yep. If you're in Clearwater, you're going to Clearwater or you're going to Orlando, and they're still open, even though he's passed away. I mean, I'm sure, like I said to you, I think Nick is probably, owning them and running them.
And I'm hoping to get a chance to go to Florida in February, and that is right on the top of the list to do, is go right to the Hogan Beach shop.
Yeah, it's really cool. I mean, all kinds of merchandise. Like this one, it has the WWF logo on it. I'm sure he could get sued for it. Well, not anymore. I mean, his family could. But, I mean, he was selling these right off the rack. I mean, anybody walking in could see the WWF logo, but I'm sure he didn't give a shit. But I met Jimmy Hart at the beach shop. There was one time where there was a table set up, like this one, with Funkos and 8x10s where he was going to sign them all, like probably the mail-in orders. And the guy running the shop, I said, is he going to be down here, because I was just there, and his restaurant's down the street, literally at the corner of the same street. I ate there. Their chicken wings are good. The last time I was down there before the hurricane hit that drove my parents back to New York. But I'll probably go down to Florida again, and I'll probably go down to Clearwater just to go to his shop.
And that was the other stop I wanted to make, to the restaurant.
Yeah, the restaurant's cool, too. He used to do karaoke, like, every Monday with fans and stuff. That was cool. But the table was set up with all the stuff to get autographed. And I was like, is he going to be here today, signing stuff? And the guy's just like, oh, no, he's not. And I'm like, dude, don't bullshit me. Like, seriously, you've got a table set up. He's going to be here signing stuff. If you don't want me hanging around the shop, that's fine. But don't just fucking lie to me right to my face. I may be a wrestling fan, but I'm not stupid.
Right.
Like, I've met a lot of stupid wrestling fans.
Yeah,
but,
that we have.
But I have great memories of going to the shop. I have great, just great memories of being a fan, watching Hulk Hogan the entire, I mean, you get to go back and watch the stuff.
Yeah.
I got to live from 1987, 88, all the way through. I got to experience that growing up, living through those eras. That, to me is just...
like I said, I went from NWO Hogan right on through.
Right. I didn't want to make this whole episode about Hulk Hogan because we could go step by step through his career. I mean, that's why I didn't do a full review of every WrestleMania match. There's just no point to it. I mean, people have done, blow by blow stuff of his, career, since he passed or even before. He's the reason I became a fan, and I'm always going to have good memories of, watching him. I'm going to have good memories of listening to Jim Cornette tear him apart for telling lies, there's stuff that, even the ridiculous stuff, you can look back on it and be like, he wasn't a good person, but the character was great. Both, all of the iterations of it, in my opinion. So, I just, and people are like, oh, well, Bret Hart's bitter about Goldberg, Bret Hart's bitter about Hulk Hogan. I think he has a lot of reason to be bitter about both of them, to be honest. I mean,
mostly Goldberg, yes.
Yeah, right. But the situation with Hogan at WrestleMania 9 is kind of shitty to Bret Hart. I'm glad he's the reason I became a fan. I'm glad I met him, and you're a fan. Not mainly because of him, probably, but still,
Yes.
You got to see that NWO era, so.
He was one of the biggest reasons why I watched WCW.
Right. Yeah, that's the thing.
And shit, we forgot to talk about another great feud, Ted DiBiase and Hulk Hogan.
Yeah, that was really cool. Yeah, I mean, he had great feuds. I mean, they just kept running guy after heel after heel after heel to Hulk Hogan. It was just this guy. So it was. I'm so happy that we got to do this episode. I'm sad that he's gone, but everybody dies. To quote Lance Archer, everybody dies. But, one thing I wanted to do before we go. On the 31st of August, which is this coming Sunday, WWE is doing Clash in Paris. I'm not hyped up about this show, but this is what we do.
Yes.
This is what the show is about, mostly wrestling, but other stuff as well. As evident by my Dave's Faves, which is, a Carrot Top movie. Clash in Paris. They're going to be in Paris, France, one of their, international shows. I'm sure the crowd will sing. I'm sure they'll do chants and all that. Not as much as they do in England, but I'm sure they'll do chants as well. John Cena against Logan Paul. I'm sure it'll be a good match. Fatal 4-Way for the world title. I think this will be really good. Seth Rollins as World Heavyweight Champion against CM Punk, Jey Uso, and LA Knight. I'm sure that'll be good. Roman Reigns against Bronson Reed. I'm looking forward to that.
Yes.
The Tribal Thief against the Tribal Chief. That's creative. I love it. I mean, he's even selling shirts with. I mean, he is Samoan. Bronson Reed is Samoan, so he gets away with it. But he's got Tribal Thief with like the Samoan kind of stuff in it, and it's got the sneakers screen printed on the shirt.
What did you call them? The Shuafalas?
Yeah. Well, that wasn't me. That Heyman or somebody came up with that. They're doing a Donnybrook match, Rusev against Sheamus. I have no interest in that feud whatsoever. And then the women's Intercontinental title, Becky Lynch against Nikki Bella.
No interest.
I'll watch it, but I don't care. I don't care about Nikki Bella whatsoever. So if Nikki Bella is the one to dethrone Becky Lynch,
then what the fuck?
Yeah, but I don't know if they're going to announce any more matches for this, but on SmackDown or whatever. But I'm not excited about this, but I'll watch it because.
It's a habit.
Yeah, it kind of is a habit at this point. Follow our social media at Cheap Pop Show, cheappops.redbubble.com for
merchandising.
We're going to be going to a couple of shows in September. Well, I'm going to be going to a couple of shows in September. He's going to be going to one of them, headlined by Gangrel. Rich Swann from TNA, former TNA World Heavyweight Champion, is going to be there. Also part of the Cruiserweight division in WWE at one point. He's going to be there. And Enzo Amore is going to be there as well, so that's pretty cool. We met him at one of the conventions.
Yes.
I'm forgetting the name. Wrestling Classic.
Yes.
That's one. And also, we did kind of a little one where we picked 5 people that we really wanted to at the Wrestling Classic. I want to do a more extensive list. I want you to come up with a bunch of names, and I want to come up with a bunch of realistic names, and I want to send that video specifically to Captain's Corner and to Zombie Hideout, and just be like, this is our ultimate list of everybody that we would potentially like to meet, just to give them a huge list of people to consider,
Can I name one right now? Ted DiBiase.
I've met Ted DiBiase, but yes, it would be cool to meet him again. So come up with a big list. I'm going to come up with a big realistic names.
Yes.
Legends, TNA, AEW, indie people, just anybody that's on the indies that, like Karrion Kross. If you could bring him in, that would be cool too. But I want to do that and send that directly to them. We'll post it here. We'll have it on here too. But I would like to post that clip directly to them so they could see it and, see what we think about it.
You want to know what's really sad? Behind the hard cam, the only one still alive from that has to do with this match, Ted DiBiase.
Yep, Virgil's gone. Oliver Humperdinck is gone. Bam Bam Bigelow's gone. Andre is gone. Yeah, I'm sure the referee is gone too. But yeah, that's true. I noticed this watching the Hulkamania. Look at how loose those ropes are.
Yes.
The early to late 80s, the ropes were just so loose. I don't know how more guys didn't fall out of the ring. It was, so follow our social media. We're going to be doing a lot more. While I'm on vacation, we are going to do more videos. We got a green screen. We're going to do some funny, TikTok videos, and we'll post them on the YouTube and the Facebook and stuff as well. Facebook is the easiest spot to learn stuff about us. I do post on X, Twitter as well, but Facebook is the easiest to...
You fire breathing Twitter machine?
Yeah. That's a cesspool now. It's nothing but ads and just...
Oh my God.
It's bad. But, so thank you for checking out this episode. My God, it's been an hour and 21 minutes. I don't know how we pulled an hour and 21 minutes out of all that, but...
If you stuck with us this long, thank you.
Thank you. We love doing this. We love the 60 years. I think we have 64 subscribers. Would love to get more, but anybody that checks out the show, anybody that supports, that comments, that gives us feedback, thank you very much. Thank you so much for checking out the show and sticking with us this long. There will be more to come. This is episode 55. We're going to have a lot more. You're just going to have to deal with it. So thank you very much. I'm going to let you go.
Pop Guys out.